So I'm trying to like figure out the lighting thing because to me, when in your videos, sorry, oh my god, in the videos, the lighting is flickering, but in my like it's not flickering for me here. So there is a remote around here somewhere that changes the color of the lights. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna have to leave it for now and figure this out later. He's going to town on this thing. I think I hit a jackpot because a lot of the times when I buy him when I buy him like these chew toys, he doesn't like them. But like I bought him a big bag from Costco there for like, how much was it? 17 bucks or 20 bucks? 20 bucks for like couple kilos or something of these like chewy things, and he is just like all over it. I grabbed it and touched it and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing is stinky. It is stinky. It's stinky. He likes this one. The other ones aren't as stinky. The other ones I've been getting him. So we're gonna try this. I've got your messages here. Where's my tea? All right. We're kind of settled a little bit. I might need to take this off. Huh. All right. We're just gonna start. It's the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Coins. Huh. The Wheel and the Five of Batons. What does that mean then? Because like the ace is... I don't know, because here's what I'll say. I'll say that like at your ages, there's a lot of pressure going on, right? Especially for men, because like we haven't quite got everything set up or figured out at that time in our lives, right? So it's like, I don't know what kind of stuff you guys been talking about, and I can't remember how long you said you're together. Oh my gosh, it's on there somewhere, so I can't look, but or I'm not sure if you told me, but it seems like, because the dog flipped it over here, that he's kind of struggling with the idea of like, it's kind of like, it makes him think that it'll like disrupt his path. Like the idea of like I don't want to like, it just speaks to me of like a child, right? The ace of coins. So like the idea of family, really having a family or a baby or something like that with the Knight of Swords reversed. This is what the cards are talking to me about. So, and it's like kind of connecting to the fortune, you know, like the ace of coins is connecting to the wheel, which holds the 5 of batons behind it. It's like almost like that's gonna mess it up somehow or whatever. And I'm gonna give it to you straight that like at this point in history, men in that age range generally are being like bombarded by like all kinds of information all over the internet and stuff like that. It's also, this is not going to be like pleasant. I guess it's not going to be like disastrous or whatever, but like younger guys are also in a state where they're like the 5 of batons. It's like they get kind of like skittish around like, I don't know, commitment at a certain point. If it's like too, I don't know, I'm generalizing. I don't know like your guy. But in a lot of cases, we'll switch over to you now. In a lot of cases, they're just not really like, it's not like they don't want commitment. It's not like they don't want that. You know, it's just that maybe they're not like ready, even though they you know, men tend to be stubborn and think that they are already the emperor on the bottom. They're missing the emperor. They don't know the emperor yet. Like they don't know themselves in that state yet, right? It's all kind of still like, oh shit, I'm learning. I'm like, you know, like trying to figure it all out. The 9 of Pentacles is an issue reversed, right? Because it's like, those things I was mentioning earlier about like exterior voices coming in from the world and stuff tells men right now, like young men especially, not to focus on relationships and instead to try and focus on this, like get your money shit in order, which is true, you know. It's like relationships and family and stuff like that. I'm giving it to you straight. They're expensive, right? From the perspective of a man's side. I want to use this to like help, I wouldn't say help, but like assist kind of like people in seeing that aspect where it's like our relationships and, you know, movements in the world are kind of controlled by these exterior forces like the monetary system and stuff like that, right? So it trickles down into like how we perceive the world, how a man perceives himself, you know. So I'm coming around trying to like allow women to see the things that are going on behind the scenes from the male side, right? So yeah. Let's keep going. He might be like weighing that out. There's so many aspects to emperor status, right? Because an emperor could handle it, right? even if he doesn't have his pentacles yet. So there's a way. Judgment, Queen of Wands, right, right. It may be that, like, he's in a position in life where he feels like he doesn't have enough, and that you'll end up in the long run judging him for that, having that kind of like response if he's not able to like perform or something like that, provide adequately or something like that. It could also be something more nefarious with the Queen of Wands and the Five of Swords. Queen of Wands reversed, Five of Swords, right? Judgment. Two of Swords and the Five of Moons. Yeah, there's a lot of like, I would say almost like propaganda to a degree around that, around like, this is where you have to come in as like, since like you're at a particular point, age, range, it's good to not, it's good at this point to start understanding yourself and like start understanding these points, especially around the pentacle point. Because if your like goal with this guy is to have like a family or something like that, you're gonna have to realize that it's hard to adequately provide from the male side, right? Especially in terms of like how the economics are set up. It's not, the thing is that the point that you need to realize from the women's side, looking at the males, I would say, is that the way that the economics is set up makes it extremely hard for them to like, it's almost like succeed, right? Like, because this is part of the equality thing, because this is saying he's thinking like, or perhaps like looking at you like he doesn't want to get like cheated on or something like that, because down the road, because like have an issue with pentacles or something like this, right? This is all judgments that are happening, weighing things out perhaps. Because like, I'm just taking a shot in the dark. I'm not saying that this is actually happening. I'm just saying, like, from my perspective as a man, being in that at that point in my life, I had no idea about women and stuff like that. I was still trying to figure myself out. And that's what I'm saying, is like, men in that age range and your age range, it's like, you guys are just still just figuring yourselves out, right? And it's not, you have to decide at that age what kind of person you're going to be and go choose one or two paths, you know? You don't want to, like, in my perspective, being that kind of a type of woman that's going to like see like a man fail or something, and then the reaction is like, it's disgust almost, right? And then they run off, right? You don't, at this point in history, there's a big push for people to not form strong cohesive bonds and stuff like that. So I don't know you. I just know that from what you've said here, right? It's just that it is of my opinion that young people choose a more cohesive, enriching path, right? I think that's like the trick from from what I can tell from what you're like trying to get at here. There's a few points. Let's keep pulling. But a few points. One could be like that you're sitting in a place of like fear of loss. And that's one point that you're going to have to like deal with here. That's a personal point that no one can help you with, really. You have to dive into that yourself. Where does that stem from and what is coming, you know, like, I know it's a hard ask. Yeah, let's keep going. It's the Ten of Wands, right? Huh. It came out all balanced like that? The sun. Alright. Yeah, it's definitely a hard, this self-actualization, realization is actually like it's a lot of effort all the time, you know? It's like the sun pushing out sunbeams, flames all the time, right? To stay in that state. It's always like always working, right? It's the same for anything you're trying to make like into a stabilized fashion. The thing is that like the thing that I've realized is that typically what the dudes are like struggling with is like self-confidence and like all this stuff like that, and like they don't know exactly like where their own feelings are coming from and stuff like this, right? So it's kind of interesting, the dilemma we're in the world. The wanderer struggling, right? Yes. That is a stinky bone, sir. All right. Maybe, so this, like, what it's speaking to me about, it could be two things. It could be like, something that, perhaps, like, he's struggling with also. But I don't think so. I think this is more about, it feels like this self-actualization point. It's like the whole world suffers from that. Suffers from it, yeah. In the sense that we're not like our own being, I would say, you know, with the wanderer. Meaning like successful relationships can't be codependent. It's like you gotta be your own person and bring that to the table, right? It can't be like that. That's the thing, right? If you're like, what I said initially, the point about the fear of loss, right? I mentioned in the other read that I'm pretty sure I mentioned in the other read that women typically have like a underappreciation for how intuitive men can be, right? In a lot of cases, and they're getting more intuitive. It's like this is the time period that's happening, right? So like they're picking up when women are being like when women are like overly like concerned about like the point around commitment there, you know. I would say that there is like a subconscious kind of response on the male side. It's kind of weird. It's kind of a weirded out kind of like emotion. I wouldn't say it's like, in a lot of cases we don't entirely understand it as men. I'm going from my own personal experience. But like that's the thing, right? It's like what you know, just like kind of like a confused, kind of weirded out kind of like emotion, right? When the girl's being kind of like extra nice in a lot of cases, because like you got to think about it. It's like when you're trying to get him to feel better, you're trying to make it okay. You're trying to make this whole scenario okay again, and by doing things to make him feel better, right? But that's something that you would do, that a man, you would expect a man to, a calibrated man to like understand about women, is that you're trying, the objective when a woman is like bummed out is like make her feel better. You know, like not try and solve the issue or blah 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 blah, right? I think on the other side is like it's tough because he kind of like, you don't, he might not even know what he's going through, right? It's all about exploration into the self. So maybe that's like topics to get into. And I would say like calm, cool, collected kind of attitude around the dude, right? If you can see that this man is like worth it, I would say to you, like he's got potential for emperor status, right? This is the trick of women, with the challenge of that women need to like, in today's age, need to, in my opinion, need to understand, is that they can like, the objective isn't to like go looking for a completed guy or whatever, right? It's like find a man that's potential for that to reach the finish line, and kind of like encourage or like tease it out of him in a way, right? Put it in those words. Tease out his potential. A lot of the things that women do and teach each other, it's like it works in a way, right? It's just like social media, modern stuff, like all this stuff he's saying. Like that's one of the other things he said is like all of that is just like setting us back, right? With the wheel reversed. All that stuff is like, I would say just because you're like, oh, he did this, he snapped, but he didn't text, and I'm like, is that the difference? Is there a difference there? Is there like a emotional like hierarchy in terms of how someone like gets a message to you, or like are pictures less like? Is that what snapping is? Pictures? So like pictures are less important than written word? It seems like counterproductive to me, but like yeah, I mean, let's give this a little bit more once over here, see what's on this side here. Along those lines. Yeah, so I mean, the point I think I'm trying to get across here is that Fool, 6 of Swords, Ace of Swords. You gotta go outside or you want a drink? Where's the drink? Oh, the drink is in the car. We're gonna have to, I'm gonna have to go get it. Alright. Drink is in the car. You gotta go out for pee-pees or something? Maybe we'll just pause this. We'll pause this. Yeah. Dang it. It doesn't let go easy. Alright. 25 minutes already? Mr. Bruno's?